When I arrived on scene, there were people sitting on their screened-in patios while we were out there. They watched it all. Everyone in the neighborhood was worried that something bad had happened to Fred.
It was all woods in the back of the mailbox. And I was afraid that whoever did this might still be there.
Everybody was scared. I mean, this actually frightened everybody.
And Fred's wife, Sherry, was screaming and yelling. She was just frantic.
The Bloodhound tracking team members were preparing to begin their search for Fred. And that's when we noticed the door to the mailbox was open. We found blood and a pair of glasses. Someone had been drugged through this pool of blood. One of the team members saw something that caught his eye in the wood line. And when we illuminated that area with light, it was a dead body. There was a wound on the back of his head that was bleeding, and there was a shoelace that had been tied around his neck. I had found a block of phone calls and text messages between Sherry and a 502 area code, which came back to the Kentucky area. And there were phone calls that were made and received to this number during the time that she claimed she was asleep the night of Fred's murder. And that was a big alarm bell. I also had cellular data that showed Timmy Rogers' cell phone leaving a hotel in Myrtle Beach, traveling to the crime scene, traveling back to Kentucky at the exact same time that Sherry Engel decided to return back to Kentucky. All of these pieces of information coming together has just made Timmy Rogers the prime suspect in Fred Engel's murder.
I'm gonna have a lot of questions for you.
Okay.
We're gonna try to treat you with respect, and we hope you'll do the same thing.
And I'm just a little bit slow on my answers for things. I've had a lot of stuff lately. I went through a divorce and everything like that. I haven't cut through all that, so I'm gonna try to answer as good as I can. You know?
Okay. You ever been to Myrtle Beach before?
Yes.
When'd you been there?
Well, actually, Sherry was helping me. She said there were plenty of jobs and stuff down there, so I went down there for a while and applied for jobs.
What kind of relationship do you guys have?
She helps a lot, you know. She just talks to me when I get depressed and stuff, you know, from things.
You ever stayed at her house?
No.
If she's a good friend, why couldn't you stay with her?
Because she was married.
When I asked him why he didn't stay with Sherry, I made a note. It seemed to panic Timmy. I even leaned forward to see if he could figure out exactly what I was writing down.
How often do you talk with Sherry on her cell phone and stuff?
Oh gosh, just about once a day.
You guys kind of developed a relationship, friendship, really close?
Yeah, real close.
Has it gone anything beyond that?
No, gosh, no.
You should.
But she's been there for me all the time. I mean, she's been kind of my angel, you know. That's the way I always told her. I always looked at her as my guardian angel.
Why do you think that is?
Because she introduced me to the Bible and everything and learning the truth.
At this point, I had been conversational. I had tried to be his friend, and that hadn't gotten very good results. So now's the time to turn up the heat.
Right before Mr. Engel was murdered, you received a call from Sherry. A few minutes later after that, you made a call to Sherry.
What do you want to know?
I want to know why you killed him, first of all. Who did?
As meek and mild as he may have been, he stuck to his story like a champ. He would not come off of it.
I think that she understood there was a possibility that Timmy could be providing all of the information about what had happened up to that point. And I think that panicked her. She trusted him enough to kill her husband, but she didn't trust him enough to not rat her out for murder.
Tim kept pushing me to leave my husband and everything. I wouldn't, and I didn't want to leave my husband. I loved my husband. And he said, I can't handle the way that he treats you. He treats you like a slave. So he kept on, and I kept sort of pushing him away and kept pushing him away and trying to see him less and talk to him less and telling him, you know, it's not the right thing to do. He just got me to the point that I just broke. I said, well, just go ahead and do it if you're going to do it. He said when Fred got to the box, apparently mailing a letter, which I didn't know that he was mailing a letter so after Tim had told me this. Anyway, he said, I said, he didn't hear you? He said, no. He said, I said, what'd you do? How'd you do it? What did you do? He said, shh, you're getting too loud. I said, tell me how you did this to him.
Take your time.
He said, I hid in the bushes, and when he come up there and he was facing the mailboxes, he said, he walked up and stuck the gun to the back of his head and shot him. And then he just some kind of rope or something up way big and drug him out in the woods.
Okay. Get your breath now.
Oh, God, help me. Oh,
Deep breath,
Jesus.
Sherry.
Her husband wasn't shot. Timmy lied to her, which is no surprise. Murderers tell lies. But Sherry's finally expressing some real emotion, but she's still responsible for his death. It was really important to me to make a strong effort to get her to state her actual role in this.
There's something still wrong. You still got all the phone calls back and forth between you. Tim wouldn't have pulled up, gone to the mailbox, and waited that night without knowing that Fred was going to come out. Someone had to have been in the house to get Fred to come out and say, go pay a bill or check the mail. You were involved. You had Fred go to that mailbox, either check the mail or pay a bill.
No.
Did you call him when he left on his own and say he's on the way, or?
You come across with part of the truth. We need all of it.
I think so, yes.
You think so? What?
Yes.
Guess what?
Yes, I did call him.
Called Tim.
Yes.
And said what? Remember one
He's
day,
leaving?
did he suggest that you tell Fred to go to the mailbox or something to get him out of the house?
Yes.
Okay. So he said,
Get him go to the mailbox somehow.
To have her finally provide that information was such a relief. She essentially dispatched her own husband to his own death. And the only way I knew that for sure is Sherry England confessed to it.
how do you feel with yourself knowing that you had kind of helped arrange this?
Unforgivable. Unforgivable.